Let me tell you something that might sting a little. The reason some people don't respect you is not because you're too quiet, not because you're too emotional, not because you're not strong enough. It's because you're too available, too understanding, too forgiving, too willing to bend when someone pushes. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People do not respect kindness they can use. They respect boundaries they cannot break. You can be warm. You can be generous. You can be compassionate. But if your kindness has no limits, it will not be admired. It will be exploited. And once someone learns they can cross your line without consequences, they will keep crossing it. Not because they hate you, not because they're evil, but because human psychology is wired to test limits. And today we're going to talk about why boundaries command respect, why unlimited kindness quietly destroys it, and how to become someone whose presence feels calm, firm, and unshakable. Why kindness without limits loses value. Kindness is powerful, but only when it's chosen. When kindness becomes automatic, when it's your default response no matter how someone treats you, it stops being kindness. It becomes permission. Psychologists call this reinforcement theory. Whatever behavior is rewarded gets repeated. If someone cancels plans on you 3 times and you respond with, "It's okay, I understand," what did you just reward? If someone speaks to you disrespectfully and you respond with patience and softness, what did you reinforce? If someone oversteps your time, your energy, your emotional space, and you adjust yourself instead of addressing it, what did you teach them? You taught them that your boundaries are flexible, and flexible boundaries are not respected. They are negotiated and eventually ignored. This doesn't mean kindness is weakness. It means kindness without standards becomes self-sacrifice, and people can feel the difference. There is a subtle psychological shift that happens when someone realizes, "I can push this person and nothing will happen." The moment they sense there are no consequences, your value in their eyes quietly drops. Not because you're worth less, but because you've signaled that access to you requires no responsibility. The psychology of testing limits. Humans test boundaries instinctively. Children do it. Friends do it. Co-workers do it. Partners do it. Not always consciously, but constantly. When someone new enters your life, they are scanning for limits. How late can I call? How much can I vent? How far can I joke? How often can I cancel? How much can I take without giving? It's not always malicious. It's psychological calibration. They are learning how to interact with you. And here's what's fascinating. The brain categorizes people quickly. Within weeks, sometimes days, people subconsciously assign you a role. The dependable one, the strong one, the funny one, the emotional one, the one who won't say no. And once that role is assigned, it becomes hard to change. If early on you overextend, overgive, over-accommodate, that becomes your identity in their mind. And identities are sticky. This is why boundaries must be set early. Because once someone learns they can bend you, they will expect bending. But when someone encounters a clear, calm, immovable limit, something shifts. They recalibrate. Because humans respect clarity. They may not always like it, but they respect it. Why being nice backfires. There's a cultural lie we've all been taught. Just be nice and people will treat you well. But psychology doesn't support that. People don't treat you based on how nice you are. They treat you based on what you tolerate. Read that again. You can be the kindest person in the room, but if you tolerate disrespect, lateness, emotional dumping, broken promises, or manipulation, that becomes the standard. And standards define treatment. There's a concept in social psychology called status signaling. High-status individuals, regardless of money or fame, communicate one thing clearly. I decide what is acceptable around me. They don't shout. They don't threaten. They don't over-explain. They simply hold the line. Low-status signaling looks different. It sounds like, "It's okay, don't worry about it." "Sorry for asking. I don't want to be difficult." It's fine, really. When you constantly minimize your needs, people subconsciously rank you lower in social hierarchy, not because they dislike you, but because you signal that your needs are negotiable. And negotiable needs invite negotiation. what real boundaries look like. Boundaries are not aggression. They are not ultimatums. They are not emotional explosions after months of silence. That's not a boundary. That's a breakdown. A real boundary is simple, a clear standard, communicated calmly, enforced consistently. For example, I'm not available after 9 p.m. If plans change last minute, I won't be able to attend. I don't accept being spoken to that way. I need advance notice for that. No drama, no long explanation, no guilt, just clarity. And here's the part people struggle with. The power of a boundary is not in saying it, it's in enforcing it. If you say you're not available after 9 p.m., but you keep answering calls at 10:30, you don't have a boundary, you have a preference. And preferences are easy to ignore. Boundaries require consequence, not punishment, consequence. If someone disrespects your time, you leave. If someone crosses a line, you disengage. If someone repeats a behavior, you reduce access. Access is currency. The more rare it is, the more valuable it becomes. Why people push back when you change? Here's something important. The moment you start setting boundaries, some people will resist. They'll say, "You've changed. You're being distant. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting." But what they really mean is, "You're no longer convenient." And that's uncomfortable for them. When you shift from unlimited access to structured access, people who benefited from the old version of you will protest. That protest is not proof you're wrong. It's proof the boundary is working. Psychologists refer to this as homeostasis in relationships. People get used to a dynamic. When one person changes the rules, the system tries to pull them back. If you've always been the one who bends, and suddenly you stop bending, the pressure increases temporarily. This is the hardest phase, because you'll question yourself. You'll wonder if you're being harsh. You'll feel guilty. But guilt does not mean you're wrong. It means you're breaking an old pattern, and patterns resist change. Stay steady. The discomfort fades. The respect stays. The difference between soft and strong energy. There's a powerful distinction here. You can be soft in tone and strong in standards. You don't need to become cold. You don't need to become intimidating. Strength is not loud. It's certain. A person with strong boundaries doesn't rush to respond, doesn't over-explain, doesn't chase clarity, doesn't beg for understanding. They state, they decide, they move accordingly. And that energy is felt immediately. Have you ever met someone who was warm but unshakable, kind but impossible to manipulate? That's what aligned boundaries look like. People feel safe around them because the limits are clear. There's no guessing, no hidden resentment, no emotional explosions, just calm structure. And structure creates respect. Why you fear setting boundaries? If boundaries are so powerful, why don't we set them? Because we're afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of conflict, afraid of being seen as difficult, afraid of losing people. But here's the reality. If someone only stays because you overgive, you're not valued, you're used. And deep down you feel it. That quiet exhaustion, that resentment you can't admit, that feeling of being overlooked. That's what happens when kindness isn't protected. You don't lose people by setting boundaries. You filter them. The ones who stay adjust. The ones who leave reveal themselves. And both outcomes are clarity, the magnetism of non-negotiable standards. Confidence is not charisma, it's consistency. When people know your standards won't shift based on pressure, they relax. They trust you more, because unpredictability creates anxiety. But consistency creates stability. If someone knows, you can't speak to her like that, he won't tolerate that behavior. They don't chase. They adjust automatically. You don't have to fight. You don't have to argue. The standard speaks for you. And something powerful happens when you live this way. You stop feeling the need to convince people of your worth. Because worth is demonstrated through what you allow, not what you say. How to start today? Start small. You don't need to transform overnight. Pick one area. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's tone. Maybe it's availability. Decide what's acceptable. Communicate it calmly. And most importantly, follow through. The first time you enforce a boundary, your voice might shake. Do it anyway. The second time it gets easier. The third time it becomes part of you, and eventually something shifts. People begin treating you differently, not because you demanded it, but because you demonstrated it. Let this sink in. Kindness is beautiful, but kindness without limits becomes self-abandonment. You are not required to shrink, so others feel comfortable. You are not required to overgive, to earn loyalty. You are not required to tolerate disrespect. To prove you're mature, people respect boundaries they cannot break, not kindness they can use. Be warm, be generous, be compassionate, but be clear. Because the moment you stop negotiating your standards, the world stops negotiating your value. And that is where real respect begins.